I thought I had more time. I thought I had more time. That was the fateful admission of a client of ours a few months ago. He was sitting at our boardroom table. His wife was across from me, and I was beside him. And he was telling us about his medical diagnosis. He has a serious condition. His mental, physical faculties are in steady decline. And yet, he's running a business, a major business. His children are involved. His spouse is involved. And he thought he had more time to plan. Now, that scenario is still in play, and I am ever an optimist, but the chances of succeeding when time is short, when the pressure of health is heavy and persistent, are much reduced. And at stake is a lifetime, in this case, families' generations of efforts in building value in a business. And all of that is imperiled because of a failure to plan. But it doesn't need to be this way. Peter Drucker, with his masterful succinctness, said that the final test of greatness in a CEO is how well he chooses a successor and whether he can step aside and let the successor run the company. 3 elements to this exercise: a final test, a test of greatness, because at stake is a legacy, often of a business owner, sometimes of a generations of a family. And selection, the thoughtful evaluation and preparation of a successor. And lastly, perhaps the most important element of all, stepping aside, getting out of the way. And the benefits to a succession plan, as I mentioned, are preserving the value of so many years of sacrifice and hard work. Not just financial value, but the value to a family, to a community, to a workforce, to all the stakeholders in a major business. How are we doing? It's simple to talk about, but the success rate is disappointingly low. For private companies, mid-market companies, the kinds of companies that we work for, the success rate is almost embarrassing. Most family businesses do not have a succession plan. Most don't make it to the second generation. Even fewer make it to the third. If they have plans, they don't implement plans. If they have discussions with consultants, they make resolutions, they fall back, they change their minds. Successors are chosen and then passed over. It can be disheartening and discouraging, not only for the owner, but for the advisors. So why is this so hard? Imagine the zeal that entrepreneurs tackle their other challenges, finding neglected opportunities, overlooked advantages in business, upsetting, disrupting traditional, established industries. But what happens when they face their own mortality, when they're faced with the challenge of letting go of something they have spent years and years creating? There are excuses. You've heard them, and so have I. Loss of prestige, loss of purpose, loss of financial support. So how do we, as advisors, address this? We start not with the technical aspects, the shareholders' agreements, the family trusts, the reorganizations, the colorful flow charts. All of that needs to be put at a second step. The first step is to deal with a central challenge. Is the owner ready to let go? And how can we advance that discussion? With patient communication. Sometimes, as solicitors, we're going to feel like we're trespassing on the expertise of another professional, talking about family meetings and communication, all of those things, better listening. I didn't learn that in law school. And yet that is the essential foundation for a good succession plan. And after discussion, succession plans take shape. There are 3 possibilities. There's nothing new in this. It's just very hard. It could be a transfer within the family. It could be a transfer to management. It could be a sale to an outsider. Let's talk for a moment about family succession. That's the most challenging one. Choosing a successor within a family business. Successors can be groomed, but they cannot be compelled. Family business is full of stories where successors are compelled and they fail. It needs to begin with the heart. And businesses need to be prepared. Whether the transition is to another member of the family or to an outsider, a business needs to be prepared for sale. And of course, that means taking a cold, hard look at the strengths and the weaknesses and ensuring that those are rooted out. The chief challenge in value in a private business is the dependency on the owner. That must be reduced. So how can we add value as advisors? How can we make sure that our clients are shepherded along this difficult journey? We have to start with the root concerns. Before we get into the technical discussion, we have to talk about what is the motivation, what is the deep desire of the owner and the owner's family. And we have to focus and persevere. Every business will be transitioned. It will either be done voluntarily or involuntarily. And the question is, will the business flourish or will it falter? And as company solicitors, we can help our clients on that journey to preserve value. Thank you.